YouTube, what the crap's going on? Welcome back to the Itza campaign where GOR-ROK is on Ulth 1, but being attacked by the Tomb Kings. Y'all remember those Tomb Kings that were following me in on the last episode? I was taking care of a couple of turns of things real quick, because I really just wanted to have this be about the ritual, but I was attacked by King What's-His-Bucket and Cetra the Imperishable as reinforcements, so let's fight it out. Well, the Tomb Kings sailed all the way across the ocean to attack me in Ulth 1. I guess they probably had a better inkling than Tyrion what my plan was, and were looking to intercede early. But they have found themselves up against a massive army of lizards led by GOR-ROK, Thunderous One, the Shredder of Lustria, a Dreadsarian, a Feral Dreadsarian, Croak, many Temple Guards, and lots of Cold One Riders. And now initially the Tomb Kings attacked me with their Necropolis Knights with halberds, but we're able to quickly overrun them because they are ahead of their reinforcing infantry lines. And so a ferocious battle is underway. You can see I even have some giant salamanders here in the background, ancient salamanders, unleashing their fire onto these sepulchral stalkers who are spraying their venom towards my troops. And some of the Tomb King infantry is almost ready to arrive on scene, but there's still a pretty steady flow of Necropolis Knights being thrown in against me. You can now see some Kemrian War Sphinx making their way, and there are a ton of chariots on the battlefield. Not sure why chariots in such high numbers here. You can see that we're building up a nice blob here, and Croak has yet to kick off the deliverance of Itza, but be assured it's quickly coming, as you can see, and what's possibly one of the largest deliverances yet. Croak just cuts an explosive swab right through the Tomb Kings there, 270 kills, and immediately kicks off a Realm of Souls, and then summons the Shabti because of how badly we damaged the Tomb Kings all in one spot. Now, there's a more interesting problem coming onto the battlefield from the back. We've got 4 Bone Giants. 4 Bone Giants. Now, if this were a multiplayer battle, this would probably get like 100,000 views because people apparently love it when Bone Giants come in multiples. So there are 4 Bone Giants making their way in, yet they're still a long ways off from the fight. And right now, I'm laying into these Kemrian War Sphinx with everything I've got, and we're also trying to kill Cetra. Cetra is here, and if I remember right, there's a Tomb King. I'm trying to remember exactly where he ends up. He was a little bit all over the place in this battle. Here he is. So this is Cetra the Imperishable, headed over this way. He's already taken some pretty significant damage, and he's headed towards a bunch of my Horned Ones and Cold One Spear Riders, so Cetra's about to find himself in a bit of a nasty place. I've got some Razor Dawn hunting packs nearby that are able to do some work too. You can see GOR-ROK just completely surrounded by enemies and not even phased. He's just healing it right off and continuing to pound away. Really nothing preventing him from doing so. Croak continues to support the infantry, and over here you can now see Cetra the Imperishable is looking to be perished by my troops. They've got him utterly pinned in here, and there's not a lot of getting away from him, though he does use several abilities to bring down my troops a considerable amount while keeping himself alive. Meanwhile, I don't want the Bone Giants to be able to just continue to rain pain on me, so I've got my Chameleon Skinks and Ancient Salamanders heading out to make a run on them, as well as on this flank, I've got my Razor Dawn hunting packs, which should be able to slice right through the armor of the Bone Giants. They are being pursued by a very annoying chariot unit that was just taking no damage in melee, so I just had to pull away from it and shoot it. I don't know why this thing was being so impervious otherwise, but somehow not crumbling with just the one chariot left. But we're going to get point blank here. I've got my Razor Dawns just flinging everything straight into these Bone Giants. Meanwhile, down in the fight, Cetra now finds himself facing off against a couple of Dreadsarian. And the fight for him gets rather desperate because my forces are breaking free. You can see the Pop cohort here chasing down some Shabti with Great Bow. and my chameleon skinks are now arriving to back up the ancient salamanders, and now we're going to see probably one of the largest amounts of missile damage, like in a point-blank missile fight here, that you could possibly see on a battlefield with 4 bone giants, 3 chameleon skinks that are completely 9 chevroned out, 2 ancient salamanders, and a couple of Razordon hunting packs that also have a great deal of chevrons, and you can see that the damage being dished back and forth in this fight is pretty significant. See the chameleon skinks even doing quite a bit of damage here, though an annoying chariot gets in their face, and once again I'm going to be forced to shoot the chariot. There's just 1 unit model left there. See, the first bone giant goes down. The second one is near to crumbling. I got really close, so there was pretty much no way I could miss. And I've picked the next bone giant to focus down with the Razordon hunting packs. And so, full-on crumble now underway as the main force of the Tomb Kings has fallen apart, and the only thing left is the bone giants, and they are under too much fire. And the forces of Cetra sailed a long ways for a whole lot of nothing. Well, that was a good victory for us because we didn't lose a single unit. We can't really afford a lot of global recruitment right now. So, big victory there for us. Alright, so we're here a number of turns later, and we're being attacked by the Dark Elves that had confederated. They were from the Bloodhall Coven, but had confederated with Nagarond and made a run at the Great Turtle Isle. This battle is really unwinnable in lots of ways. If I guard the walls, we get crushed, because we can't beat this. If I fall back, we get crushed, because I can't beat this. So I'm going to take my chances with the auto-resolve. I mean, it's highly unlikely we can shut this kind of stuff down. I mean, they have some brutal infantry here, and I don't have any magic. And magic is what it would take to turn this one up. I'm going to see if the auto-resolve will treat me okay. No, it did not. But you know what? We'll take it. I've got an army on the way, and I don't think the Dark Elves will be able to recover very nicely. Alright, I've moved in, and I'm going to lay an ambush with John Hammond to see if we can catch one of these armies. Maybe trying to march out of here. We've got to separate. There's 2 Dark Elf armies here now, and they have to be separated if we're going to have a chance to defeat them. Because 2 against 1 there, I don't really like those odds. There's a whole bunch more like building and stuff I've got to do. Nothing interesting. You might be like, hey, aren't you going to do the ritual? I am. I'm kind of waiting for just the right moment here to make my move. Val's Anvil actually got raised by Chaos, and so I would say that this is just such a moment. I don't even really have to declare war on the High Elves to take this settlement. So GOR-ROK is going to get in control of the settlement and help impart better healing for my troops here. I could get rid of these Puppets of Chaos real quick. No, we can't, because they're there specifically against the High Elves. So I can't get rid of them. Let's just heal. And here in a moment, you can see that Lothern is about 7 turns into the ritual. I sprung the hit on Nagarond. All we can do is hope it works at this point. So yeah, all we can do is hope it works. We're already at war with Grand Hierophant Katep. I don't know why he's at war with us, droning on in his odd languages. But in any case, we're going to get things underway here to end a turn. I'm going to start the ritual on the next turn, and we'll pick it up from there. Alright folks, I am here a couple of turns later. I'm trying to get us positioned for the ritual so that the episode pretty much corresponds to the ritual. Unfortunately, there's now 2 armies of Dark Elves very close, but I'm going to leave John Hammond in an ambush. Almost wonder, could he potentially... Nope. This is a really decent place for an ambush here, I think. And we could cover that road headed north. I'm going to move in and hit an ambush stance. And if I can pick off one of these Dark Elf's armies, I think we can make the other one fall. I have another army that's being readied here at Itza to help us prepare for the next ritual. I fully expect that as soon as we go into the ritual, Lothern's going to declare war on us. And I have to declare war on them anyway in order to stop them, so it's coming. It's really just time at this point. So I've prepared all of my defenses as best I could, you know, leveling up settlements, done just about everything I can do. I've got armies in different positions here. It's hard to predict where this crap's gonna spawn. I'm actually gonna spread out maybe just a little bit here. If the stuff spawns in the north, it's just going to take me a while to clean it up because I have most of my forces sitting in the south. I've got 4 armies here to help protect my lands. I don't know where it's going to come from. And then I've got my 2 armies up here in Lothar. And they will be ready to go in basically the next turn. And I'm going to call in an intervention and move into position with my 2 armies just as quick as we can. And it looks like right now that Lothar must be under siege or destroyed, because I see that broken. Well, no, actually it looks like it's coming from this settlement here back to Lothar, and then from Lothar to here. So it's one of these settlements is broken there. So that's good news for us. It means that Lothar is potentially on the path to fail. Magron just failed. That'll give us time to catch up. I'm going to end one more turn, and then I'll come back around when it is time to kick this ritual off, and of course let you all see the cutscene that goes with it. Alright folks, I actually don't think we're going to be able to fit this one all in one episode. And hey, why not? It's not like we have to cram it. I'm just, you know, the further I'm going along, I'm like, wow, there's going to be a lot to go on. And the reason so is because one of the Dark Elf armies headed south, leaving the 2 split, and the garrison at the Great Turtle Isle is not very good. We could immediately take the fight to this garrison, and I don't think they can stop us. There's no Blackguard garrison, which is really one of the only units that I would have to fear here. So I am going to take the fight to the Great Turtle Isle with the Jurassic Park Rangers here, and you all can join me. So the walls of the Great Turtle Isles have already fallen. I've used my Bastillodons with Solar Engine and my Blessed Stegodons and their long-ranged artillery here to take down 2 towers and already break a hole in the wall, and we will soon be breaking yet another hole in the wall. And I'm using my Engine of the Gods, plural there, to break down the gates and make way. We've got to take on a couple of these grotesque creatures here. It's been a while since I've seen a Charybdis on the battlefield, but there are 2 Charybdis in this fight. And these things are some pretty vicious anti-large units. Now, not a lot of infantry here, though there are some Cold One Dread Knights, so some pretty significant cavalry presence. Pretty significant indeed. The gates came open, and my forces are now ready to invade. I'm going to use my first alignment, burning alignment here. There's just a perfectly shaped line of Dark Elves. We're going to absolutely melt them. So Jurassic Park comes to you. It's a traveling show now. And it's just as deadly as when you're in the park, apparently. The dinosaurs now have lasers. Be warned. Now these idiotic Sisters of Slaughter who decided to wear no clothing to battle picked quite a day to do so, as they will be trampled by a gigantic laser-armed dinosaur. Yes. You might want to dress for success, not undress. Anyway, I've got several Carnosaurs coming through as well. We're going to try and take the fight to these Charybdi, however we're going to say it here. You can see that my Temple Guard's now plunging through the busted gates, and then I have another Temple Guard who is going to, at least momentarily, scale these walls and put a challenge to the Black Art Corsair with hand bows up there. Able to use yet another burning alignment here. Get a little bit of damage done on these units that were back here. The Charybdis are putting up quite a fight. Between the Sisters, the Charybdis, and the fire of the Reaper Bolt Thrower, some of my units are taking some damage, though it's nothing we can't handle, at least at the moment. I've got Temple Guards coming through the gate. Temple Guards have breached the walls, and these Cold One Dread Knights, although fearsome units, are now finding themselves in the exact opposite fight. that they would want to be involved with against heavily armored halberd infantry. You can see here that I've also now got temple guards up on the walls, and the Cainite assassin is looking to get away from me at the moment. My temple guard are going to start pummeling these Black Art Corsairs. In the main fight here, it's like one of the Charybdis is sent packing. The other can now be the focus. And then some of the Dread Knights are transferring away from my temple guard into this fight. They won't find themselves happy in either fight. There's a tremendous amount of anti-large capability, not to mention armor piercing. So the second Charybdis gets a lot of focus, as well as the Supreme Sorceress on her Manticore. And there's another good opportunity for a burning alignment here. Quite a few Dark Elf troops lined up nicely, and able to be melted all the way over here to the Cold One Dread Knights. So the burning alignments have been very effective at opening up the path here. The Dread Knights holding out for a surprisingly long time. I'm going to go ahead and bring my Blessed Stegodons and my Solar Engines through and just really start to pile into this fight. You can see John Hammond here kind of reveling in the battlefield, retaking the settlement that used to belong to Teclis, that we rightly earned when he would not surrender. So another Charybdis forced to flee. The first one coming back for seconds. Gonna have to watch its sister unit die. But that Reaper Bolt Thrower has just been tremendous. But both Charybdis units down now, and this leaves the Dark Elves fleeing for their lives. The settlement retaken for the Lizard Men. Alright. Victory for the Jurassic Park Rangers. They have retaken the Great Turtle Isles. We fought so hard to take off Teclis. Didn't know we'd be dealing with more elves. It looks like they have ruined the settlement from what it once was, because they've broken it down significantly, which sucks because I'm going to have to rebuild the defenses here. There's a decent population surplus, but we're going to need more. I don't really have this province set up for growth. I'm going to have to go ahead and do so. I'm going to tear down these income structures and reset this place for growth. It's uncertain whether this group will turn around and come attack me. They probably should. It'd be in their better interest, because the longer I sit here, the more protection I get through healing. So I don't know that it would be in their interest to let that go for too long. Okay, so we have defended the Great Turtle Isles, and I believe we are ready to kick off the ritual, except I'm going to do it on the next turn. The next turn, when I start laying waste to the High Elves up here in this little corner I've carved off. So I will see you all there. Alright, well, the Dark Elves screwed up. They thought it would be wise to siege the Mud Isles, which doesn't have a huge garrison, but it's got a garrison on top of the fact that I've got a giant dino army. I do believe that they will live to regret this decision. I don't know if we can reach them all in one turn, though. It doesn't look like it, unfortunately. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up, hit an ambush stance so they won't know I'm here, and then we'll be able to attack them on the next turn. We're only one turn away from this army being ready to help defend Itza if need be. I'm going to get some of these armies out of a force march stance, just in case we get attacked now. Lothern has an army here, but I think it's because they confederated. Yep, they confederated with some of the last remaining elves over here. So that means that we're going to have Lothern all over the map to deal with. They are in Nagaron, they're in Ulthuan. They have spread out all over the place. So we're going to have to really watch our homeland. I have the armies to do so, and then, like I said, we're going to take the fight to their homeland. And they've just finished training an elite army here with Tyrion, so there's no better time to begin the treachery than now. And Tyrion's even in a force march away from his settlement. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh, we're going to hurt Tyrion so badly. So badly. Regina, I hope you're not watching. Any case, here we go. Let's kick off the treachery, shall we? Well, we got a few things to do first, actually. Let's take care of this, then we'll kick off the treachery. So Gustav has a skill point that we can spend. He's immortal and all these other things. Let's go over here and get some more hurt for his Croxies, because the Croxies are the backbone of his army. Hola the Skink has a skill point. I don't even know if there's a lot of stuff left that we can do with these guys. Bottomless Quiver. There's always room for a bottomless quiver. And then Taitza, our red-crested skink chief. He can get a horned one now, which would actually be pretty handy to help him get around the battlefield, dish out some good damage and speed. So I think there's a few building things I'm going to take care of just quickly here. Did that? Oh yeah, we're good. Good there. Let's see. I'm just building everything I can at this point. Some of them are these very expensive pyramid buildings, just because it gives me extra trade resources. Though I'm about to lose most of my trade, to be fair. We'll wish we had built for something else besides trade. I'm going to get some extra growth here at the Turtle Isles so that I can more quickly rebuild. And we're awaiting the return of our movement points here. Let's begin the ritual. Like I said, we're not going to finish it this episode, but we'll begin it, and it'll be an interesting one.
The ritual is underway, my lord. Even working together, it will take your greatest adepts some time to complete. Such is the ritual's power that the great vortex itself distorts under its pull. Be wary, though, for while the vortex is weakened, the forces of chaos will slip into this world. Ready your defenses, for they will doubtless be drawn to the ritual's power.
So of course, because my troops are south, they spawn north. I swear CA has this program to just do the opposite of what you're ready for, because their armies are also programmed to raise every settlement they come across and just cause maximum frustration. They rarely actually ever achieve any objective in terms of like slowing down the vortex. I am going to move one army over here to the Star Tower, because I think you all saw out there to my north and east there were some forces garrison. We're also going to have to deal with the treachery right here. Crap. I should have made that move right down here. Well, the Hissing God does have tier 3 defenses, so they'll at least have to siege it. And then, yeah, like I said, we're waiting on our movement points here. But we can go ahead and begin kicking things off properly by destroying Tyrion in a massive treacherous move here. Treacherous, but it's the plan of the old ones, folks. It is the plan of the old ones. Come on, allies, join me. Oh, they did. The war's on, folks. Avalorn's against me now, too, though, so should be interesting. We're going to lose a ton of trade income. But we get a chance to kill Tyrion on the very first turn, and kill him we will. Ever the great general of the High Elves, Tyrion picked his battlefield well. He's got choke points to defend, and he has the most elite infantry of Lothern here, the Sword Masters of Hoeth and the Phoenix Guard, 9 chevroned out of their mind. He's also got a Sun Dragon here, ready to help support him, as well as a Great Eagle and 2 Flamespire Phoenix. You can see that there's a couple of bolt throwers here too, Eagle Claw bolt throwers, and then the Sisters of Avalorn, apparently on loan from the Queen. No, I know that the other faction can still recruit him. Anyway, we've got a High Elf, nope, is this a, oh no, this is a Tyrannok Chariot. Got a Tyrannok Chariot and some Lothern Sea Guard with shields, backing up the, this is the special Reaver unit, I believe. Yeah, this is the Heralds of the Wind, Illyrian Reaver, along with another Tyrannok Chariot and some Sisters. And then on the far flank here, some Dragon Princes and Spearmen. And of course, who better to open the battle than Krok and the man with the big shield. An impenetrable shield. Krok, of course, just shrugs off the missiles, doesn't really care right now. They're going to plow in and create a giant blob. I think you all know what's on the way. You're about to see what's quite possibly the most devastating deliverance of Itza ever delivered. And that's after Tyrion cooks a bunch of his own troops. Boom. The damage is absolutely devastating. All 4 units of elite infantry for the High Elves destroyed in one magical explosion from Krok, and you can now see that there are many Dread Saurians headed towards the battlefield. 3 of them. A couple of Salamanders positioned. The Legion of Chakwa has pushed through. They're going to start to overtake the first Eagle Claw bolt throwers. And the Sisters of Avalorn and others are focusing on the Shredder, and the Shredder is a easy target, to say the least. And he's taking tremendous damage as he approaches the High Elves. Now in the main fight here, Krok's having to hold his own against a big fiery bird. I don't think mummified things like giant flaming birds. GOR-ROK is taking Tyrion one-on-one, but Tyrion is just absurd, much like his brother Teclis here. Look at this, 20% ward save, 13% physical resistance, 70% fire resistance. Yowza. I don't think we have flaming attacks, thank goodness. But yeah, Tyrion is just an absolute beast. He's shrugging off everything that we're throwing at him right now. The Sisters, great from range, not so great in a close-up fight with a couple of dinosaurs, especially one that calls down lightning from the heavens. So they will find themselves in trouble, though Krok, being attacked by a dragon, starts to take considerable damage and needs to take a small respite. On the other hand, GOR-ROK needs no such respite. He continues the fight against Tyrion, unabated. But check this out. Despite what he's surrounded by, Tyrion barely even injured in the process. Just incredible, the amount of damage that he's capable of absorbing. However, his forces are utterly defeated, and the Prince is going to be overwhelmed and hunted down by the predators of the jungle. The cold-blooded masters of Lustria now arrived in Lothern. So as Krok literally obliterates the 9 Chevron guard units of the High Elves, Tyrion is defeated and driven back, and we gained a +2 melee attack and an extra recruit. That's a pretty crappy bonus, to be fair, for defeating the likes of Tyrion. Not gonna lie, it's pretty disappointing. CA, I feel like you should earn better for defeating Tyrion, especially, like, did you guys see how tanky he was there? How absolutely tanky he was there. Yeah, that's nuts. It's like, here, have a prize. Not much of one, but oh my goodness. Cold One Riders, we do have a few in that army. Let's get Krok. There's really little that we can do with him anymore. He's, because of the mod, he's kind of gone beyond the useful skills. We've moved everything else north as far as we can. We do have to deal with these enemies behind our lines now, but Patchy is near, and we are waiting for a turn end here as well. Let's end our turn. Ah, so the Dark Elves are actually intelligent here. They're gonna annoy me. It won't work, but they're gonna be annoying and just destroy the settlement immediately because they know I'm nearby. Good call. Well, we're being besieged by Chaos. They have 2 hell cannons, and I don't have any flyers to get around them to get those hell cannons. That could be problematic. Depends. I mean, we're up against Chosen here. Holding our ground, I don't know if it's an option. The dinos would make it better. But, I mean, 2 armies here that consist... Yeah, I mean, this is not likely a winnable scenario for us. So fighting it just kind of feels like a waste of time. If the auto-resolve gives it to us, then great, but I don't think they will. I mean, it shouldn't, in all fairness. So we've made it through the turn end. We lost 1 settlement to the forces of Chaos. The Skaven clans are close behind them. We're going to have more trouble to deal with up north. I'm going to continue to move Gustav at full speed in that direction. And same here with Taitza. I'm going to start moving towards this settlement. And then down here, the High Elves did put to sea and take off. It's good news for me for at least the moment. So And it looks like the dwarves have my back here too. I might at least just put an assignment there to keep these guys off my case. And down here where the Dark Elves took the Mud Isles, it's a mistake that they've made. I'm going to siege them here, because I don't feel like fighting this at the moment. It's a completely winnable battle, but we'll fight it shortly. We'll fight it shortly. And what we're going to do, though, is go ahead and defend Itza from this Dark Elf intervention. But the Dark Elf intervention's a joke. So we'll auto-resolve that. Yeah, it's a joke. Joke. Just kidding. Dark Elf intervention. Now, speaking of intervention armies, we're now ready to throw one. And I'm going to go ahead and push forward towards Lothern. We're going to go slowly, so I can kind of scout ahead. We have eyes on Lothern. That's as far as my second army can move. And I'm not going to actually spawn that army just yet. I don't know where that army is going to spawn. I don't want it to spawn here and get hit by that garrison. We'll spawn it momentarily. When I say momentarily, I actually probably mean on the next episode. I guess we could go ahead and end this episode with one more fight from the Jurassic Park Rangers, and then we'll be in a good place to pick up, finish the ritual, and finish off the Forces of Chaos. But this should be a winnable battle for us. Interesting that we're going to have to go up against 4 Doomfire Warlocks here. I think we shouldn't have a hard time winning this, though, because there's really no monsters to stop our dinos from just absolutely trampling the rest of this. So the Dark Elves gathered outside the Mud Isles, having put together a pretty potent force here. Not a lot of infantry, but a considerable amount of armor-piercing missiles, and honestly, that's a pretty nice way to be prepared to fight against the forces of Jurassic Park. You can see over here John Hammond leading his feral Carnosaur pack, much like the goofy vested guy in Jurassic World. And here is the Rangers. Our Revivification Crystals, solar engines, engines of the gods. We've got a little bit of everything. We're going to take our Temple Guard into combat. They will not fare well in this battle. There are so many odds against them, and they are not going to be particularly well suited to this fight. Once again, though, speaking of ill-suited, wearing some type of loincloth into battle, getting hit by a dinosaur laser. Yeah, not the best choice. Going to be an awesome burning alignment here. Huge conglomeration of Dark Elf troops get absolutely space lasered. So the burning alignment right off the bat, dishing some massive damage, and then the Doomfire Warlocks on this flank being ripped apart by the Carnosaur hunting packs. But my dinosaurs are being overwhelmed by sheer numbers at the moment, and the Temple Guard can only support in so many places, and then they are being overwhelmed. Some of them have been charged in the rear by these Doomfire Warlocks. They're using their bound spells. There's just a lot of damage. My Skink Priest, poor Dennis Nedry, gets caught in the middle of a bunch of Doomfire Warlocks and gets taken out of the fight, basically. He's nearly there. He won't be able to survive this. Those Doomfire Warlocks are absolutely lighting him up, despite a little bit of late support here from the solar engines, which was pretty effective. Now, one of my solar engines has to make its way across the battlefield, and there's another nice ball of Blackguard and Cavalry and Sisters of Slaughter here that get burned by the second engine of the gods coming to the rescue of its sister. But now, the real damage begins, as all the armor-piercing missiles aren't able to be kept busy yet, and so they have been unleashing barrage after barrage on my dinosaurs, and I'm going to have to push back this way and engage them. So I am disengaging from certain fights and re-engaging in others, so that I can keep the missiles from being effective. My Revivification Crystals are focusing on the engine of the gods right now, but they are under fire as well from the minor Doom Bolts off of all of those Warlock units. See that Revivification Crystal, though, clutching it out here. Able to continue to push, but there are so many missile units, and many of them are just able to sit back and fire, so I'm going to have to continually reposition my dinosaurs, pulling some out of the fight here, going after the Dark Elf Lord. You can see him being attacked. He's not loving life right now. But I start to tie down some of the skirmishers, and this will slow their capability to damage me. You can see one of the Carnosaurs going on a hunting mission here. Carnosaur is relatively quick, pretty good at hunting down a missile unit and keeping it busy. So, pretty desperate fight, actually, right now for the Jurassic Park Rangers. The Bastillodons are sitting back, firing into the infantry blob, and getting a pretty fair number of kills, all things considered. One of my ancient Stegodon Engine of the Gods actually routes over there. This is definitely concerning to me, but I'm able to continue to keep pressure on the skirmishers, and I've got more units doing the same over here, tying down absolutely everything we can. And now Hammond has come back to finish off the Dark Elf Lord. And if the Dark Elf Lord dies, then the rest of his troops are likely to rout. And with his missiles unable to fire continually, I'm able to bring back my Engine of the Gods, continue the pressure. And the Dark Elves are not able to stand. They're going to be routed. Alright, we were successful. Unfortunately, though, Dennis Nedry was killed. Just like in the movie. We'll have to replace him. Nedry Part 2, I guess, maybe? We got some blessed temple guards that we can bring in if needed as well. And guess what? They're needed because we lost some temple guards here, so let's bring in a couple. And then we'll have to take care of our skink IT on the next one. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. I will be back very soon with more, and we've got a lot more action. Chaos and Skaven up to our north, and all kinds of High Elf anger to deal with, and Ulth 1. See you then!